Just a couple of best friends hanging out, best friends hanging out, best friends hanging out.
Yeah, the champ is here, and I'm back in first place. I honestly don't think I deserve to be in first place. I've squeaked out two Monday night wins, and then a Tuesday night win, which was completely ridiculous. But you take what you can get in this league, and I will take those W's, and I'll take first place because I'm only getting healthier. Chark went down again. CMC might take another week, but I'll take 4-1, and then a tough matchup this week. The champ feels good about the league. I feel like there's a lot of parity, like they were saying in the P-hole pod about it. There is a lot of parity, and honestly, some of the worst teams are shaping up to be some of the best teams, which is pretty insane. I'm just hoping we can fend them off and keep Scott's team at bay for as long as possible before he sneaks into the playoffs and wrecks everybody. He definitely took a hit with Dak going down, but yeah, a lot of parity. It's good for the league, a lot of good banter, and thank you to the People's Pod. I'm going to start calling you the P-hole Pod, but I'll try to limit that. I think it only has so much mileage to it. Thank you guys for putting out that awesome podcast. Love it. A little too much baseball talk. All good. But yeah, try to, I think you could pare it down a solid 15 minutes if you weren't talking about baseball. But that being said, I do have to make amends for my incredibly long rambling podcast from Oregon. It was almost as long as the car ride to and from. Really quick, I need to check these levels. They look like they're not really registering too high, so I want to make sure everything's good before I do this whole podcast. I'll be right back. All right, I just checked up on it. It's all good. Everything's coming through, which is great. So let me talk about Oregon. As I just mentioned, it was the longest car ride of all time. I think it was about 8 hours and 45 minutes on Google Maps, but once you actually got on the road, you got to pee a little bit, got to eat a little bit, got to snack a little bit, got to drink a little bit of caffeine, so those stops really start to add up, and eventually it probably became about a 9.5-hour drive up for Amber and I. We listened to the last podcast on the left, which if you haven't listened to it, it's about basically true crime podcast, and the guys on it are hilarious, and somehow they make these horrible true crime events freaking hilarious. So they had a lot of great stuff. We listened to one about these guys who had this cabin in Watsonville, and they turned it into like this freaking holding cell where they would like kidnap young ladies and like keep them in this cell under their cabin. It was fucking insane. But it's right there in was it Watsonville or Wilseyville? I can't remember. But it's basically right next to where the Mountain Vibe Festival is held every year. So I thought that was very interesting. And Mountain Vibe is a festival that Radio Keys has played 7 years in a row. But Oregon itself is gorgeous. It was so green and lush, and actually had some nice weather when we got there. So Amber and I pulled into our Marriott hotel, just completely gassed at that point. It was probably around 9 o'clock, and decided to find some sushi, drink a few beers, watched my boy, A-Rob, Allen Robinson, get a million targets. He must be just hitting these like 9-yard slants every time or something. I couldn't actually watch the majority of the game, but I watched the end because I was very interested in seeing Tampa Bay lose. I thought that was awesome. So my Bears went ahead and took that one. And Allen Robinson, a lot of people were looking to get him from me in a trade, and I'm really glad I kept him because look at this: 9 targets, 13 targets, 10 targets, and then 16 targets, and his touchdown total will go up. But he's been consistent. That's really all you can ask for. So, Allen Robinson, shout out, Thursday night. Got up there. Oregon sushi, it was good. It was all right. So, that was really my Thursday night. I ended up drinking a little bit of Basil Hayden, which is great bourbon. Apparently, it's like the nicer Jim Beam, which makes sense because I love Jim Beam. And I'm a Jim Beam kind of guy. And like I've said multiple times, I pretty much only drink whiskey now because I don't want to get fat in quarantine, and I'm already, threatening the obesity scale. In fact, every time I check in to a doctor's office, they automatically just print out like the overweight paperwork and hand it to me because my BMI sucks. Dude, it's all muscle is what I tell them. Ass muscle, thigh muscle, arm muscles. And they don't buy it. So that's kind of where I'm at with the whiskey. I have to drink it to keep those calories down, because it's so easy to booze in quarantine. So easy to just pop one open every night because you don't have anywhere to go. You don't have anyone to impress. And usually it's the shame of being hungover, and also the fact that you have to wake up at 7 to commute there and get there by 9 and then not look like a complete train wreck. When now you can just wake up at 9 and you're probably much better off because you got those extra hours of sleep. And even if you are a train wreck, no one knows. So that's why I've switched over to the whiskey, because it's easy to drink every night and the caloric intake is much less. So that is the main reason for that. So I'd like to shout out Peebly. He invited both Bill and I over to his lovely Portland house. I guess, do you actually live in Portland, or is it Beaverton? I don't know, Pebbles, but maybe fill us in there. And it is a lovely house, let me tell you. They have really decorated it quite a bit. He looks like an athlete fresh off his first real contract. Like Christian McCaffrey just bought that fucking castle in North Carolina. This is the Peebly Castle. It is incredible. You guys have been there. And Anya, was amazing, very, very good at housemaking. And also she showed me around her garden, which was nothing to sneeze at. It looked really great. I don't really know much about the Oregon climate or how to grow in it, because my climate is pretty much the exact opposite. It's just fucking desert over here compared to the rain they have. We got to meet their middle-aged neighbors who they are now best friends with. It's almost like a quirky sitcom where you're just like talking over the fence to the neighbors. But they're very nice, and they invited us into their backyard, and we had I wouldn't call it too socially distanced, but it was socially distanced enough. Little hangout in the backyard. But let's get right to the beer mile. Pebbles crushed it. It was unbelievable. He looked like Forrest Gump out there. He was going and going and going, probably burping the whole way, but I was just enamored by it. Which, Colin, you can't say, I bet anyone a beer mile that Brandon Cooks isn't going to get 27 points. Dude, how many people have gotten 27 points as a receiver this year? I would like to see the stats here. I couldn't really find the leaders for points in one game, but I assure you it's probably not many people have more than 26 points. So not only are you trying to have 1-to-1 odds on an outlandish game by a shit wide receiver, but you say you're going to do a beer mile. We saw what happened last time he did the beer mile. And when I say we saw, I mean we saw some grainy video that kind of put the Blair Witch Project to shame, honestly. So no one's going to take that bet, Colin. Maybe say 2-to-1 odds, something like that, but Brandon Cooks is not going to score 26. Everyone knows that. I mean, very few people. Look, I have name a wide receiver. All right, I'm playing let's see, Devontae Adams. He had one game. Yeah, he had 34 points, and that was an amazing game. And that's barely more. So, pretty horrible bet call out there, but you'll take what you can get. And also, take notes on Peebly's beer mile, Colin. That was amazing. And then Max was like, he needed to walk back those comments because that was pretty ridiculous. A 7-minute mile in general is not easy today, especially in Oregon / California where there's been smoke aplenty. It's hard to get out there and run. But, I mean, my thick ass is running what did I run? Like a 6-minute, 50-second mile, and I was gunning on that mile too. So it was very, very hard to run fast. And that was 6 minutes 40. You're saying you should have got 7 with beer? Impossible. Not everyone can be Noah Hopton. Plus, Noah got to walk during his drinking, which I don't think should be allowed. We were talking about it should be Mario Kart, a.k.a. Cario Mart rules, where you have to stop while you can't drink and drive. You can't drink and walk or move or whatever. So great job, Peebly. That was amazing. Bill jumped the fence like he was a professional wrestler. It was amazing. He did you guys know what I'm talking about, where you kind of throw your arms up and then you lean all your momentum forward and your legs go over the ropes while your upper body is holding on to the ropes. Really, God, who does that kind of entrance? I can't think of an individual, but Bill just teleported over the fence like that. And meanwhile, I was having a lot of trouble. I was wearing boots. It was tough. So great job, Peebly. We did the rambling pod after that, and I actually listened to it the next day, and I did not have too much of a problem with it. The sound quality was a little tough, but other than that, I actually enjoyed the content. It was funny the whole time. People was like, guys, we got to stop rambling. Like, he turned into the network real quick. And for the most part, he was right. We were definitely drinking and definitely can ramble, especially when 3 people want an opinion on everything. So, yeah, apologies to the P-hole pod for that, especially after all the shit I give you for your rambling podcast. That will be the longest podcast of the year for me, I promise, unless maybe we have a little surprise guest this weekend. We'll see. So after that, we ended up drinking a little bit more at the house, but it was pretty late by the time we got done with the pod and got everything wrapped up. Had a little hangout with you guys over Google. Had to put the podcast up. That took a second. And then we ended up going to downtown Portland. I don't know if that's a thing, but a part of Portland with alcohol in it. And it was kind of a shit show. Like, there was a giant line for ordering. They have tables that you just walk in and sit down at, but they don't have servers, so you have to stand in this long-ass line. But they have people who clean tables and walk by you and ask you what's up, but don't actually get you anything. It was kind of a shit show. So eventually we stood in line, got some beers, got to watch the NBA final game. Game 5 was the game of the NBA Finals. It was back and forth, Jimmy Butler versus LeBron, head-to-head, and of course, the Heat won that game, lost the war, but won the battle, and there were a lot of fake-ass Laker fans there who were kind of on their phones the whole time while the game was happening. And am I bummed that the Lakers won? Yeah, I felt like they kind of bought this entire team. They barely drafted anyone on the team. It's all mercenaries. So they got a mercenary team to win the title with an injured Warriors team out and a lifeless Clippers team. So, yeah, I thought it was kind of a bullshit title, especially with this whole bubble thing. And I don't know. It just felt like a fake thing. I listened to a Bill Simmons podcast. It was funny. He was talking about how the Lakers have, 16, 17 championships now. And he's like, why are they counting the Minnesota championships? They, the main player, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the main player on those early Minnesota championship teams before Bill Russell was just dominating the league, they don't even have his jersey retired at Staples Center. So why the fuck are they counting his championships, but they don't have his jersey retired? So I agree with Bill Simmons. Congratulations on your 12th championship, Los Angeles Lakers. So, obviously we drank a ton, started playing beer pong. This was after we got back and hung out with the neighbors. Then we came back and started playing beer pong. And of course we're doing, the healthy thing now where you have water in the cups and you have your side beverage. We go Anya and Peebly versus Stu and Bill. Turns out Stu and Bill almost never play on a team together. And we were dominant. Just killing them. And of course, Peebly was throwing his fiance under the bus a little bit. Maybe justifiable. Well, we'll see. It's not like Pebbles was just murdering us with his turns, But Bill and I were on fire, and it was great to be on a team with Bill because, like I said, usually we aren't on a team together. I think we get separated because people think we're on the upper echelon of the league in terms of beer pong abilities. So we never get to play together. Had a great time. We were at this point you could see we were pretty fucked up. So we started blowing the ball in the air, Snapchatting behind the back, just doing everything to humiliate Peebly, who was losing his shit, and then eventually went left-right Peebly, and he had a strong start, left-right Peebly, let me tell you. But eventually left-right Peebly lost as well. And we went in and started playing the guitar, started bullshitting. We were all hammered at this point, which it was super funny because I brought my Basil Hayden, which is a nicer whiskey you get from Kirkland's. And I know Pebs loves whiskey, Bill loves whiskey, so it's like, this is going to be great. I'm going to bring this nice whiskey here, and they're going to love me. Pebs is like, oh, you have Basil Hayden? He pulls out 4 more bottles of Basil Hayden. They're like, half drank, a quarter left, a full one. We drank basically all of them. And just got really fucked up. I fell asleep on the couch and woke up in that state, like, what the fuck's happening? Right when my alarm was going off at 9 o'clock the next day, when I had to drive back for this wedding, which the wedding was a disaster, but I was also a disaster in the morning. Complete disaster. I had to do the thing where I take the 5-hour energy, as I always say, drink as much water as I can, trying not to puke, go up, take a shower, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. And I did that for about 25 minutes, not going to lie. It was a disaster. And the second I get out, I feel horrible again. Brush my teeth, put on my wedding outfit. Find out I don't even have to leave until about 12:30, and now it's like 10 o'clock, 10:30. So I drink some coffee, try to drink some more water, just feeling worse and worse and worse. This is when you wake up before you're coming back into health. You wake up and you take a dive before you come back. Those are the worst hangovers. And luckily I didn't puke or anything like that, but I was all dressed up in my wedding attire, just like doing nothing around the house. Left my rain jacket there. Bill saved the day later. But I get in the car, try to find some umbrellas for this wedding that's supposed to be rained out, because of course they didn't plan to have umbrellas there, because they didn't plan to have anything there. So I find these umbrellas. I get some 7-Eleven taquitos. I have to put some air in my tires. Excuse me, which, if you're hungover, is one of the worst tasks to do, putting air in the tires. Did that. And in Oregon, it's such bullshit. They have, like, these gas attendants. You're, like, not allowed to pump your own gas. It is the worst. I could only imagine if I was in a rush and these guys are, like, just toddling around the gas station parking lot, looking like pure shit, just being like, you have to hand them your card. You got to tell them how much you want. You got to maybe tip them for what? It's a disaster. I don't even know why you guys have that law, but I did not need gas that morning, fortunately. But now I thought I was leaving super early, but between the tire, the taquitos, and the umbrellas, all of a sudden I'm running late. So I'm hungover, listening to the rambling Oregon pod, which I'd forgotten basically everything that was said in it. So I had a great time. I thought it was fun. And I'm just driving hungover as shit, an hour and a half drive back to Corvallis for this wedding. I get there. Amber's upset with me because I was supposed to pick her up, but I was running late, so she had to get a ride with someone else. I felt bad about that. Finally got to the wedding. Turned out I was the first one there, so I was like, fuck, why didn't I just pick her up? And it's a little, like, community church. Nothing, no big deal. Everyone's just walking around with their masks off. I'm like, fuck, dude, this is really how it's going to be. So I keep my mask on the whole time. Now, keep in mind, this is a very conservative, religious wedding, so we all know what that means. I'm keeping my mask on, trying to stay outside, not only for the COVID reasons, but also for the life that is air blowing across my face reasons. It was a very tough morning for me, but got through it. I got to help by lighting all these candles. They had one candle that turned out to be an electric candle, and I blistered that thing to death. It turned out it was an electric candle, and I don't know why they hid it among about 20 regular candles, but I basically melted and broke that thing trying to light it. embarrassing in front of like all the groomsmen. So that was the early part of the wedding. We sit down, and there is a very, very religious wedding. They're talking about Jesus and how Jesus is love and all this crap. And then he starts talking about sexuality. He's like, let's not think of sexuality as like a favor or a punishment to withhold. He's basically started going in about how they need to have sex with each other all the time. And it was really fucking awkward, let me tell you. I was like trying so fucking hard not to laugh, and I could see Amber on stage as the maid of honor doing the same thing. So I was like, do not make eye contact with Amber, because I was like trying so fucking hard not to laugh when he was talking about Amber's sister and her husband banging each other. It was so fucking awkward. And I'm like, this guy is definitely that like under the table, like sexual deviant. You could tell. I mean, most religious people are, but I was like, this is so awkward. So we get to the wedding reception, and of course they just hired some friend of theirs to MC the whole thing and DJ the whole thing. And he's like, oh yeah, I don't have anything. I don't have any cables. I don't have any. You know, the 1/8-inch cable jack that like goes into your computer. He didn't have that, and everyone just has their iPhones. So fortunately for me, I have an adapter from the 1/8-inch jack to the weird ass iPhone, the like iPhone charger / listening port, audio port. So that's what they're working with. And then I, because of our stupid rambling podcast, had all my cables and microphones right there with me. So I don't want to say I saved the day, but I saved the speeches and the music for sure, because they just didn't plan anything at this wedding. At one moment, Amber was like bussing tables because they didn't hire anyone to bus tables or anything like that. It was pretty crazy. And I did have my flask with me. It turned out it wasn't a dry wedding. The bride's mom, also known as Amber's mom, sprung for the attendant at the last minute. Turned out it was the attendant that they didn't want to pay for. So that was like $200 that they were just like, nah. So eventually we did get alcohol, but I was basically drinking that Basil Hayden out of the flask the whole time, which was delicious. All right, and I'm gonna try to move on here. There's a long ass intro, but yeah, the puking death was pretty fun. We get after the wedding, we're trying to party a little bit more, going to hotel rooms, drinking, and this one girl is just on one, just hammered, and she goes to the bathroom just inconspicuously, and Amber and I think it was her sister Maritza go to do what girls do in the bathroom, whatever that might be, and they find her just passed out in it basically looked like a murder scene, but instead of blood, it was puke just everywhere. And this girl's passed out, face down on the ground, hand on the toilet, looking like a murder victim. It was bad. I saw her feet, and it looked bad. She looked like she was in bad shape. And I know I've been drunk a lot. I've been hungover a lot. But when I puke in a receptacle. It might be a trash can, might be a bucket, or a bowl, like what happened in college. But it's somewhere. Maybe a bush, but it's somewhere. It's not in the middle of some random room of some random place. And yeah, basically she was passed out, completely passed out, and everyone had to like clean up around her. I was not into it, but it was also hilarious. So you gotta love it. Got pizza and went home the next day. Felt great, and yeah, that's pretty much my Oregon trip. So to quickly touch on my AJ Brown thing, that explosion that happened Friday night. All I was trying to say, and by the way, it wasn't nobody was on my side. It was Bill was on my side, and Peebley was on my side too, but he promised to keep it neutral because he was the commissioner. But they were both on my side on this. The whole point about COVID is we don't want someone to be at a total disadvantage strategically just because of COVID. And had that game not been postponed to a Tuesday, I would have had every opportunity to see that, AJ Brown's not playing. at the 10 a.m. Sunday game, so I'll switch him out for another guy. That is my benefit of having that game be at 10 a.m. But because it was moved at no fault of anyone other than COVID, all of a sudden now I don't have that benefit anymore. So now I'm at a strategic disadvantage strictly because of COVID. And I'm not saying like, oh, I want to see how many points he gets and then like get a guy in. I was just like, can I get a backup for him just like any other COVID-related game because I don't have the initial benefit I talked about earlier. Seems fair to me because, again, no one wants another player to be at a strategic disadvantage because of COVID, but I was placed in that, so I decided to just be like, fuck you guys, I'm playing him, I'm not playing another guy, we'll see what happens. And we saw what happened. He fucking put up how many points, my boy A.J. Brown? Let's do it. 17.7 points, 9 targets, 7 receptions, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Saved my bacon on Monday night. Gotta love that. Love to see that. So despite all the hand-wringing and all the posturing and all the rabbling, A.J. Brown pulled through for me. Played. It was a non-issue. And if we're going hard line, dude, let's go hard line. Why is it that was the big fucking issue, but Evan getting this magical kicker replacement wasn't a big issue? That was absurd to me. He already used all his turns, or all his moves, picked up a fucking known COVID kicker, and on top of that, it's like you didn't save any moves. You don't have a backup kicker. You don't have a backup plan. So I 100% agree with the People's Pod. You have 4 moves and an extra IR slot. That's what you have. That's your recourse to plan for. So if you fuck up and you don't have a backup and you somehow spend all your moves and you don't have any backup, that's your fucking fault. That is not anyone else's fault. So if we're going to play hard line, let's play hard line across the board. That's what we're doing now. I'm down with it. So I completely agree with the People's Pod. And I also completely agree with Max's sentiment about just letting Pebbles aside, because it's like, he's not going to fuck anyone over. He's going to lean towards leniency, which I don't like, but it's like, until something affects you in this league, people have been against it. But then all of a sudden that thing affects them, and they're like, oh shit, can I get another pickup? It's like, no, dude, no. But yeah, A.J. Brown, yeah, I did have a little bit of liquid courage, but it's not like nobody agreed with me. Bill was there agreeing with me, and he has a chicken ranch bet against me. It's in his interest for me to lose. Pebbles was there. He got it too. He's like, I see both sides, but I think you should get your backup player. And I think that if your game is postponed due to COVID and you have initially, like, let's say Sunday morning game, so you would have had the benefit of getting another player in that lineup if that guy is ruled out, you should get that same benefit because you shouldn't be at a strategic disadvantage simply because of COVID. So that's the end of my whole rant on that. I understand I was in the minority, and I will take it on the chin. But come on, see, whenever they lie, I'm going to call them the P-hole pod. The P-hole pod talking about no one was on your side, that is a falsity. It wasn't nobody. It was 3 people, and then there were a lot of people who didn't say shit. But anyway. Also, obviously, the jingles are great from Kurt. I'm not saying they're not, but also in the pod you said, we all said that it was the best jingle. That's so Trumpian of you, Colin. We have the best jingles. Everyone says it's the best jingles. Not true. Mine is a fucking classic, dude. It's Stairway. It's Stairway to Heaven. And yes, that last one was great. It was like, what's it called? It's like the Star Wars American Pie version, the Weird Al version of American Pie. Is great. It's a great song, but it is a satire, right? It's a satire song. So, and also you didn't even play it again this week. So how all time is it? Come on, guys. Let's not be haters here. We were all spreading the love. We were all sharing the love. And then you had to come in here and be like, oh, we clearly have the best one. Come on, guys. Everyone loves Kurt's jingles. No one's saying that. But you don't have to fire at my jingle. Come on, dude. It's an all-timer. An all-timer. So I don't need to change it. Sorry, I'm getting a little heated here. Jesus Christ. All right. And just to have another little fun segment, I like to call it Comments in a Vacuum from the People's Pod. Here is a quote from Colin Gall in a vacuum. Women will get you killed. Colin Gall. Thank you, Colin. No need to explain the context because I would eliminate the point of this entire segment. So, let's just move straight on to matchups and picks. All right, so obviously we're going to start with weekday teetotaler versus Bridge to Nowhere, which I love. It looks like the Bay Bridge. But Adam's starting to get healthy, and I think his team could, especially with what's his name, Chase Claypool on the bench. I don't know how you can bench him after that. Gordon's going to be out because of the DUI. So he has a formidable lineup here, and I admit that it's not looking good for me. I do have Madison, though, and Peterson against Jacksonville. So I like my running backs, and I love my wide receivers. Robinson against Carolina. Carolina's been stout against the passing game, so I actually think Robinson could be taking a hit here. A.J. Brown, we saw what he could do. And then Higgins, even in a game where they scored 3 points, he got 8.2. I love Higgins. He's leading the team in snaps as a wide receiver. So I think he's an incredible 1-2. I have a 1-2-3 punch, 2-punch kick combo here. And then, granted, my flex is looking a little soft right now with Damier Byrd, former Carolina Panther. DJ Chark is injured. He did not practice on Wednesday, and he's been somewhat of a disappointment, just kind of injured the entire time. 3 points for me. That almost derailed me. So we'll see what I do here at the flex position. Kind of tough. Higbee's playing San Francisco, so he could put up 1,000,000 points. Also, he could put up 2 points. We'll see. There's nothing out there for tight end, so what am I going to do? But yeah, it's Watson versus Roethlisberger. Moore versus Robinson. I like my wide receivers better. I like his running backs better. Wait, do I? Fuck no. He has David Johnson. Sorry, I thought Duke Johnson. David Johnson and Devontae Freeman. So Freeman has a glimmer of hope. He's been ramping up, learning the offense. That offense is complete shit, but ramping up nonetheless. I think it's really a toss-up. I have a fat 0 from my kicker and a fat 0 from my defense because I don't know why I have a 0 from my defense. I shouldn't. And he has a 0 from his defense as well, which doesn't make any sense. But I think it's a lot closer than the People's Pod was saying. I think Devontae Freeman, how many Devontaes do you have? Devontae Adams, Devontae, the same name spelled differently. 2 Devontaes, 1 Cup. I think it's a lot closer, and because I got to keep rolling with myself, it's a classic first versus last matchup. I'm going to pick myself. It's been going well for me, so there you go. Weekday teetotaler over Adam. But I think Adam's team is on the up and up. He's one of those, last place, in his case, teams that has a strong roster and should bounce back. All right, next is Cup is half full, who really let me down. Against Bill. Oh, that S. Miller. Damn you, S. Miller. Who could have even put there, though? No one. He could have put Keenan Allen in that slot, and then, he would have lost no matter what. There's nothing he could have done to win this game. Look at his bench. 0.1, -4, 0. Well, I guess Goddard's in IR. So literally nobody he could put there to save his life. So sorry, Peebly, that sucks. We got the Cup is half full versus the Fresh Prince of Hell-Air. We got Wilson on a bye. He's going to pick someone up. I think Peebly is going to win this one. I really do. He's got a lot of his players back who are out, and he's got Kyler Murray going against Dallas. He should have a great day. Cup against San Francisco, great day. Galladay against Jacksonville, great day. I just think that Max is snake bit. He's getting high scored every single week. And I don't really know what his recourses are here. His defense is going to have to be a stream. Pascal, I don't know if you can keep starting this dude. 9 points was his season high. 8 targets is his season high, but 3 catches is also his season high. 58 yards his season high. Like, you can't keep trotting that dude out. Cole Beasley might be the option. He's getting 7 to 13 points every single week. So, I think I have to go Peebly here. Also, the fact that Maxwell just gets high scored every fucking week is pretty amazing. Okay, let me move on. All right. Sacramento fantasy team versus mix on, mix off. Tom Brady, Josh Allen. Straight up. Going to be a tough matchup for Josh Allen against Kansas City. Kansas City has played really well against quarterbacks, barring last week where they gave up 1,000,000 points, it felt like, to Derek Carr. Let's see how much they actually gave up. 25.9. I guess they haven't given up some points. 20 to Watson, 22 to Herbert, and then, Derek Carr. Combined 4 to New England. So 14 to Lamar. Yeah, I think Josh Allen could have that 20-point game. So I kind of walk back what I said. They haven't been that killer. Tom Brady against Green Bay. I just don't know about Tom Brady this year. It's pretty amazing. 23, 32, but then back down to earth at 14. He looks so old and frail at times. It kind of amazes me that I don't know. I don't think he has much left in the tank, honestly. I know that's not a hot take. Thielen should have a field day against Atlanta. Ridley has been playing very well. Parker versus Hill. Got to like Hill better. Landry versus Boyd. Is Landry going to play? He looked like he died in that last game. Boyd has been playing very well. Against Indy might be a tough game there. Yeah, I like Bacon's wide receivers better. Singletary and Henry versus Sanders and Mixon. I think I like, especially with the matchups that Colin has, I'm just going to go here with Tyler Bacon. He looks better. So old Bronze Bacon is going to knock off Colin's weird-ass mix-on, mix-off name. All right. So now we're on No One Fucks Like Gaston versus Pandolce. What is this? Pan. What is the Pan? Am I missing something? Pan Williams, is that it? Is that his name? Preston Williams? Nope. All right. Where's the Pan coming from? Anyone? Tim Patrick? No. Am I crazy here? Where is this Pan coming from? Why is it Pan Dolce? I don't get it, Brad. Still better than Men's Zerling, I guess. At least Zerling had a player in it. All right, I'm super confused. Against the new best team name, No One Fucks Like Gaston. Just change it already, Sean. Tannehill has a great matchup against Houston. Hopkins has been great. Yeah, your team has really turned around, Sean. Montgomery might have that one run against Carolina. It's so funny. They've been so good on defense, but every single game they give up one giant run. So could be Montgomery gets that. Gaskin is the other starter here. Been playing well. Ingram got a little end-around handoff for a touchdown that kind of saved his day, but he's been middling against Kelsey, so Kelsey will do better. But yeah, I gotta take Sean here. Brad needs to make moves and fast. He's in trouble. Greg Ward, I thought he had a good game. Yeah, I guess you'd rather start T.Y. Hilton still. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a tough name, Brad. Love you, Buckaroo. Sorry to give you another heartbreaking loss on Monday or Tuesday night. Yeah, Brad's been up against it these last few days. That really sucks. I'm sorry, bro. All right. Oh, Brave. Oh, wait. Let's see. Week 6. Oh, yep. We demand a Chubbery. Sorry, versus Gaskin Back Alley Coxme. Old Cole Bill here against Silver Evan. And Lamar has been drastically underperforming. I think I said it on the Champions Pod, but he was bound to regress this year. He was throwing touchdown passes on 9% of his throws. That's unbelievable. So that's not going to happen. Plus, they realize that they can still win big without him sacrificing his body with designed runs. So he's not running as much, I don't think, either, which is good for the Ravens, but bad for fantasy. So he was bound to regress after his monster year last year, complete outlier type of year. It's kind of like 2015 Steph Curry, 15-16 Steph Curry, just unbelievable. So Mahomes should do better in this game, I think, but it's kind of a toss-up with Philly. Johnson is back. I said back and Johnson at the same time. Against Cooper, Anderson, and Slayton. Gallup has been tough this year, so we'll see. I mean, he's had some okay games, but nothing crazy. And I guess there's not really anyone you can put in for him. So, yeah, it's just going to be a tough matchup for Bill. I like your, I don't know, Kenyon Drake and Gibson. Gibson is all of a sudden questionable. What? Limited. He should play. So Jones and Jones, the Jones brothers, Aaron Jones and Ronald. Yeah, I think I have to go with Evan on this one. Hopefully he can finally push down Bill. Who, are you Platinum Bill? No, still Diamond Bill, damn it. But yeah, I'm really hoping Evan can pull this one off because I need to gain some some distance in this Chicken Ranch bet, and Pebbles failed to do that last week, and now I need it bad from Evan. And everyone's like, "Why do you need things so bad? You're in first place. You're 4-1." I am basically tied for the Chicken Ranch. That's why I need everything so fucking bad, dude. Fuck titles. Fuck toilet bowls. This is about the Chicken Ranch. I'm not trying to get back in the service industry. I can't go back. All right. Oh, brave Sir Dobbins. Love the name. 2020 should not count. Kind of funny coming from Scott because he could honestly go on a giant run and win this league, and then, of course, he'd want it to count. It's really tough to kind of forecast who he's going to have. He's going to have Michael Thomas. Oh, wait, Michael Thomas is on a bye. Oh, that sucks ass. Okay. Julio Jones should play, right? He's week to week. Oh, lingering soft tissue. Oh, no. Yeah, it's kind of tough for Scott here. And Dak, where's he going to go? It's a complete wild card. I think, Mike Davis has been the third best running back in the league since CMC went out. He's got Zeke. He's got Kittle. He's got Woods playing great. And by great, I mean like averaging probably like 13 points a game. Christian Kirk is a tough start, but against Dallas, he can go off. I'm going to take Dobbins here. And take a weave. But that being said, if Scott can just get into the playoffs and get his team healthy, he would be a real fucking terror to the rest of the league. And I think that's it, right? Let's make sure. All right, so I pick me over Adam. And then I picked Pebbles over Max. Sorry, I'm going through these. And I picked Bacon over Colin. I picked Sean over Brad. I picked Evan over Bill. And I picked Dobbins over 2020 should not count with his gaudy 63.33 projected points. All right, so we're at the 42-minute mark, and usually I cut it off here, but we're going into the mailbag. We're going to dig deep into this mailbag here. And I actually got a lot of people on this mailbag, and I'm feeling very happy with the response to it. So here we go. Mailbag question from old Weave Dog. Which upset were you more surprised by? Dolphins over Niners or Raiders over Chiefs? Okay. So this is really a toss-up because obviously we all thought that the Chiefs were going to win. We thought they were going to win. And I think they were at home too, because they actually have a crowd there, which is incredible. But I swear to God, you guys are all sleeping on the Raiders this year, especially all you haters like Colin, who's like grown up always hating the Raiders. They are 3-2. Their losses are what, against the Panthers and the Patriots? Is that who they lost to? Here, let me look it up. But now that Panthers win, or sorry, they beat the Panthers. Why did I say they lose? Let me look it up before I keep talking. Raiders. All right, so the Raiders beat the Panthers. Looks like a better win now with the Panthers at 3-2. They lost to the Saints, they beat the Saints, which looks like an even better win, going up 2-0. And then they lost to the Patriots and the Bills, who are two of the better teams in the league. I know the Bills didn't show it yesterday, but they are. And then they beat the Chiefs. And they were in all these games. They were in all of them. I know the Patriots score looks a little lopsided, but they were in that game. So stop hating on the Raiders. Just stop doing it. They get into shootouts. So I don't know why you're like pitting this defense against them. how have the defenses done against the Raiders? I don't know, but I think it's pretty ridiculous that everyone's shitting on the Raiders. I feel like we're like that Paul Rudd gif. Adam and I at our teams at 3-2. Sorry, Bill 2 with the Raiders. Who would have thought? Not me. Not me. I definitely didn't think the Panthers were going to be 3-2. Let me tell you that. So I think that the more surprising thing was not that the Niners lost to the Miami Dolphins. It was that they got destroyed by the Miami Dolphins. That was shocking to me. That was the biggest shock to me. So I was not upset by the loss. I thought that they could lose that game, and I thought that the Raiders could win that game. So I wasn't necessarily shocked that the Raiders beat the Chiefs. I was in awe. I thought it was awesome, but I was shocked that the Niners got dismantled by the Dolphins. So I'll go with that answer. I know it wasn't maybe exactly what you were going for, Weave Dog, but yeah, I was just completely surprised by the Dolphins putting up that massive 30 points in the first half, then dropping over 40 on them. That was pretty amazing. All right, my next mailbag question from Sean O'Malley. Who is the most overrated person in our league, and why is it Diamond Bill? So, shots fired, Diamond Bill. He's pissed right now. Love you, Bill. Shout out, Bill. Great beer pong partner. I actually don't think it's Diamond Bill. Maybe this year he should lose his diamond status this year. That's why he's Cole Bill all of a sudden. Cole Billsley. I'm definitely trademarking that. Cole Billsley. This is a hard-hitting question because it's going to piss somebody off for sure. I think it has to be just my gut instinct tells me Pebbles. I think Pebbles is oftentimes considered to be probably a top 4 fantasy manager in this league. He's won it a few times. Definitely won on this trophy. I think he won it once before that too. But let's look at his finishes last few years. Right now, he's not looking good. He's 9th place. 2019, he finished... No, I don't want to read that. All right. Standings. Who was he last year? I'm the Walrus. He finished 4th, but at a 7-6 record, so nothing super impressive. And he was scored against more than he scored. I guess it's not the end of the world. Okay, let's keep looking at this. 2018. You know, I might have to change my. I might have to change my pick here now that I'm reading all the standings. All right, who was? I don't know. These names are so old. Oh God, I was 11th place that year. Who? Cup and a Thiel. That was it, right? Pebbles. Everyone's favorite thumbnail for that team name. If you don't remember, go back to 2018 and look at the Cup and a Thiel name. Everyone loves that. God, you know, it might not have been Andrew. It might not have been Andrew. Let's keep looking. Sorry, I'm taking a lot here. All right, so it might not be Andrew, actually. I think it could be Adam. I think it could be Adam. He's had a few tough seasons. He's obviously in last place this season. And I'm saying this because he was a 2-time champion, 2013. And before that, I think he was a champ in the crazy 14-team league when we all used to really suck. Definitely the league's gotten a lot better. It's like the UFC. Like MMA has grown so much as a sport. We've grown so much as a league. But, yeah, I think he missed the playoffs last year. Let's see here. Standings. All right, this is tough. Sorry, guys, if this is real tough listening. The bell. He has trickle-down Grudenomics. He was 5th place, so not horrible. 2017. Let's just go back one more year after this. See the... Oh, poor Weaver. The Moist Outlets. I like that name. Last of the Shurikens at 11th. So, yeah, over the last 4 years, he's in last place now, 9th place the year before that, 5th place, and now 11th. 2016, just go back one more year, give you one more chance. One more chance. Let's see where we're at here. Which one are you again? Oh, damn it. I have no fucking idea who these team names are back in the day. This is brutal. Sorry, guys. This is tough listening here. Tough question, though. The overrated player, was it Brown with the sickness? Is that Adam? All right, yeah, 8th place. So last place, 9th place, 5th place, 11th place, and now 8th place. Yeah, so tough go for Adam lately, especially being a champion 2013 and a champion before that, too. Sorry that took so long. That was pretty brutal. All right. Let's keep going here. What the hell? All right, let me go to my phone because for some reason it didn't update on my Google Sheets on my laptop. All right. Now, Evan, mailbag question. So this is from Evan Bryden, league member, longtime league member. Is Bill changing his team name too often? I'm going to have to say no. And it's only because he's hit on every team name. I think this is kind of like, pulling the lever at the casino too many times or rolling the dice too many times. Like if you keep winning, it's not rolling it too many times. But if you're swinging and missing, or in this analogy, busting, you're definitely rolling the dice too many times. So no, I do not think in his case he is naming his team too many times. Now, if Brad were to make 5 name changes and they're all at the level of Men's Zerling and the Joik Store and Pan Dolce, I would say it's far too many. I think it should just be Brad's fantasy team at this point. So that's that answer. I think it depends on the quality of your changing names. That will determine if it's too many or too little. All right. And Colin gives me this big one. All right. From Colin Gall, longtime listener and supporter of this podcast. Choose your champ, your Sacco, your biggest surprise team, and your biggest letdown team. So I'm going to go biggest letdown team to start, and it's, again, I hate to pick on you, Adam. I think it's Adam. I liked his draft as one of the best, one of my favorites in the entire after the draft, and I still like it. It's just been drastically underperforming. So unfortunately, I have to go Adam, and I think the biggest surprise is kind of a toss-up between Sean and Bacon. I think Bacon right after the draft had a real tough lineup, and everyone was like, "Oh Jesus, that's a tough one." But he's been killing it now, and a lot of players that we didn't think would kill it have killed it. Same with Sean, but I think I'm gonna have to give the slight nod to most surprising team to our boy Bako. Let's see here, Sacco. Ooh, this is a tough one. Let me look at this league. The only teams that are really in bad shape are, and I hate to say it because Brad has been so good, because I think Brad could take a giant dive. His team is looking real tough. I'm not picking him for Sacco. I'm just saying he's looking tough. He's got Rodgers back, though, and a few players. Oh, man. And if Scott can't get his team together, he's a contender for sure. This is tough. If I have to pick a Sacco right now, oh, man, I think I have to go with Peebley. I think it could be Peebley. Let's look at his lineup right now. Again, yeah, his RB1 is Todd Gurley, Kenny Golladay, and Cooper Kupp, Kyler Murray. Oh, no, I don't hate it. I don't know, man. This is tough. It's really fucking tough to pick one right now. I'm going to say it's a toss-up between Scott, if he can't get his shit together, his players keep getting injured and all that, and Peebley. And that's pretty much it. All right, and then the champ. I would love to pick myself in this segment, so I'm going to. I think I'm going to be the two-time Hall of Fame champ. There you go. And why? Because my team is not relying on any injuries to get points right now. We're hanging in there, and once we get our guys back, my lineup's going to be pretty fucking nasty. My lineup is going to be Deshaun Watson, Allen Robinson, A.J. Brown, with DJ Chark as my wide receivers, Christian McCaffrey and Carson as my running backs, Waller as my tight end, and then my flex will probably be T. Higgins. So I think that's a pretty nasty starting lineup, especially with the fact that I'm already 4-1 in first place and could be contending for that bye if all goes well. I'm going to go with myself because why the fuck not? It's not like jinx are a thing. Anyway, I'm so lonely here. I've done the last couple podcasts, it feels like, with friends. So it's definitely tough to do one by yourself. Hopefully you guys listen to it and don't hate this too much, especially that last one about trying to pick the biggest, most overrated manager in the league. So, yeah, I would like to imagine us here in some kind of jam band, hippie drum circle, djembes, maracas, steel fish. We're sitting in a circle, bonding and connecting through our musical powers. And together we're just a couple of
best friends hanging out, best friends hanging